Today, we will be going over the Xenoverse 2 Iceberg Part 2. If you don't know what an iceberg is pretty much a giant trivia sheet. At the top of the iceberg is the most commonly known facts about a certain topic, and going down all the way to the bottom, we get to the least known facts about a certain topic. And for today's topic, we have the second part of a Xenoverse 2 Iceberg. The first part is linked up in the card at the end of the video and in the description. This is part 2. And this iceberg you see on screen is made by me, so we have a lot of new entries to cover today. So without any further ado, let's roll right into it. Reused content. Reused content is referring to the fact that Xenoverse 2 reuses a ton of Xenoverse 1 content, especially inside of parallel quests. Half of the parallel quests in the base 100 parallel quests of Xenoverse 2 are pretty much reused from Xenoverse 1. Unplayable characters. Unplayable characters is referring to the fact that inside of Xenoverse 2, despite the game's extremely large roster, we have a plethora of unplayable characters. Those are once again, including but not limited to, Fused Zamasu Half Corrupted, Great Apes, Demigross Transformation, and Villainous Hercule. Those are just to name a few. While some of them eventually became playable inside of Crystal Raids, they don't retain their same movesets with boss attacks. In fact, they end up getting unique raid boss attacks for the Crystal Raid specifically, so they're not technically the same character, and characters like the Great Apes never ended up becoming playable, at least up to this point. Modded CACs. Modded CACs is referring to online back before a patch. Players created characters were actually able to equip raid boss skills, those including Marbling Drop, Peeler Storm, and etc. Pretty much people that don't have anything else better to do with their life would hop online inside a ranked and use Marbling Drop, Peeler Storm, and all these broken attacks in order to win. Thankfully, this was later patched, and if you now try putting one of these skills on your character, instead the skill will be completely removed by the time you even get back to the city, which is a very good change. Xenoverse 3. Do I really need to go over this one? Cellmax. Cellmax in the recent DLC pack is once again an unplayable character, however this character is very unique in the fact that he's only a raid boss, and he has completely new attacks unlike Great Apes, which use attacks from Xenoverse 1 and a few other attacks. Mods. This is not referring to modded CACs, but mods, Xenoverse modders, people who make characters, skills, quests, art, etc. Beast Ace before Gohan. We now have the Beast transformation added inside of Xenoverse 2, before Beast Gohan was in the game. Ace being the time patroller that Bandai made, pretty much being the canonical time patroller for Xenoverse 2, gets Beast mode before Gohan does, inside of Xenoverse 2. Wow, that's crazy to think about. Super Saiyan Nappa. The Mentor variation of Nappa actually has access to an awakening skill, the Super Saiyan awakening skill. This of course allows him to become a Super Saiyan, and he gets his own portrait, his own quote, and even his own model that's completely different. Still insane how they added this in, but not even Super Saiyan Raditz. Still cool we got Nappa though. We symbol Goku and Vegeta. This is referring to the fact that we symbol Goku and Vegeta do not have an awakening skill. Despite going Super Saiyan 2 and 3 inside of vanilla parallel quests, these guys for some reason do not have awakening skills in the vanilla game, nor do they have any charge up skills. For what reason are these variations gimped so much? Why can they not be a partner customization variant? Dragon Ball Legends. Dragon Ball Legends is referring to the fact that Xenoverse 2's assets are all decompressed for Legends. Voice lines, maps, models, a lot of things from Xenoverse 2 are decompressed for Dragon Ball Legends in order to make it work as a mobile game. This is extremely noticeable in some stages in Legends like the Glacier stage, and some other stages like the Universe 6 vs 7 tournament, where you literally have Xenoverse models of Champa and Beerus in the backgrounds. Starting Transformed. Starting Transform refers to parallel quests inside of Xenoverse 2, where many enemies actually start out in their transformed state. For example, in many parallel quests, Goku starts out as a Super Saiyan. This is impossible to do in the base game. The only way you can technically do this is by playing as either Majin Vegeta, Teen Gohan, or either Kale or Caulifla, as these characters don't have base forms normally. I have no idea why this is not an actual feature to be able to start out transformed, at least make it a Super Soul for your CAC. It's really stupid how this is not a feature in the game. Rebirth Kamehameha. This is referring to Super Saiyan God Goku in the vanilla parallel quests, who actually has the 10 times Kamehameha skill to simulate the red Kamehameha that God Goku did in Battle of Z and other material. In the base game, however, God Goku does not have a red Kamehameha, nor does his partner customization variant. The only way God Goku gets the Red Kamehameha in Xenoverse 2 is through some parallel quests, and not even DLC ones. It's a very strange thing. Villainous variations. Villainous variations are referring to, inside the Legend Patrol, you actually fight the villainous versions of Frieza, Cell, Boo, Vegeta, Gotenks, and Gohan, all from Xenoverse 1, where they have the exact same movesets as that game, of course brought over to Xenoverse 2. These variations, however, are not accessible by normal means, but are actually in the files, and if you manage to mod them in, they work exactly how you would expect. DLC 10 Last DLC. DLC 10 was speculated, and was, at one point, supposed to be the last DLC. This is evident by the cutscene that played during that DLC of Goku and Oob and the CAC just bidding farewell to each other, pretty much as a send-off at the end of 2019 to Xenoverse 2, until they ended up bringing it back, which was a good decision in my opinion. Rage Trunks. Rage Trunks is referring to DLC 4, where Rage Trunks is seen in a single cutscene and a single fight. He had no appearances anywhere else in game to my knowledge. It baffles me to no end how Rage Trunks has not been made playable yet by Dimps. Get on it. Minute changes. Minute changes is referring to, inside of Xenoverse 2, we all know that there are all these reused parallel quests from Xenoverse 1. However, they're not completely the same. For example, Namek Berserker, inside of Xenoverse 1, didn't have Nail at the end of the quest. However, in Xenoverse 2, Nail actually appears. This goes for all the reused quests from Xenoverse 1, especially the ones with Turles and Slug in them. So they're not exactly the same, but they pretty much are the same and take even longer because of these added enemies. This could be seen as a good change for some, or a bad change for some. It depends on who you ask. Unusable transformation costumes. Unusable transformation costumes is referring to the fact that there are various variations of Goku and Vegeta that cannot attain Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, or Super Saiyan 3 respectively. For example, Scouter Vegeta cannot go Super Saiyan despite going Super Saiyan in some parallel quests. Goku cannot go Super Saiyan 3 in his Kid Buu outfit, nor can he go Super Saiyan 2, nor can Goku go Super Saiyan in his outfit that he fought Rakum in, despite him going Super Saiyan in that outfit in some parallel quests. Unimportant CACs. Unimportant CACs refers to the story mode of the game, where in later DLCs, cutscenes that are rendered in-game have no longer made any appearances, instead being substituted in for really good-looking CGI cutscenes. However, this comes with a serious hindrance. Your CAC is no longer part of these cutscenes, and thus your CAC is thrown out of the story and is instead used as a device in order to get the main characters of the series out of sticky situations. This, of course, has been a huge problem with some Xenoverse fans, and this is an unfortunate price to pay for better-looking cutscenes. Dual Angry Explosion. Dual Angry Explosion refers to Majin Buu, and the fact that he could not equip Angry Explosion on his mentor variant at one point. He could actually equip the dual variant, but not the original for some very unexplainable reason. Super Saiyan Ginyu. Super Saiyan Ginyu refers to the fact that inside the parallel quest Return of the Ginyu Force, Ginyu is seen in Goku's body going Super Saiyan at the end of the parallel quest. This of course cannot be obtained normally. You cannot go Super Saiyan in this outfit. This is the only place in the entire game where Ginyu goes Super Saiyan in the Goku variation. It would be very cool if this was unlockable, but unfortunately it is not. Transform cutscenes. Transform cutscenes is referring to the story mode of the game. More specifically, from Xenoverse 1, if you use the Super Saiyan skill during a match, and then the cutscene played right after the fight, you would actually be transformed in the cutscene following the fight. In Xenoverse 2, this is actually removed for some unexplainable reason. Villainous Hercule. Villainous Hercule refers to Crystal Raids, and Villainous Hercule being the only character on that roster that has the Villainous Mode aura. The rest have Timebreaker auras. Blue Goku / Vegeta Wrong Outfit. Blue Goku / Vegeta Wrong Outfit is referring to the DLC 3 parallel quests that contain Blue Goku and Vegeta. Since DLC 4 is the DLC that adds in the Future Saga variation to Blue Goku and Vegeta, in DLC 3 they use the Wii Symbol Goku and Wii Symbol Vegeta variations inside those parallel quests and never went back and changed them, thus making a serious continuity error in the game's parallel quests. It's a bit funny to go back and look at, and it's definitely something that makes the DLC 3 parallel quest stick out. UI Goku skills. UI Goku skills refers to the fact that MUI Goku skills were originally unavailable to your CAC until they were added into the Time Patrol shop at a later date. Demigra removed, added, removed, added. This is referring to, of course, Demigra, who was removed from the game. More specifically, his final transformation, until he was added back in DLC 6, and then removed in DLC 7 and added back when the Legend Patrol pack came out. Very crazy stuff. Unique universal skills. Unique universal skills is referring to very specific characters who have skills that are normally obtainable by your CAC, however they're a little bit different. For example, SSBE Vegeta, who has the Final Flash, which is normally obtainable but it's a super attack for him. He also has Flash Strike, which is actually an evasive. These skills also have different behavioral properties. For example, Vegeta's Flash Strike, he'll actually teleport when he uses it. Final Flash doesn't have a special camera angle, and the damage ranges are also different for a lot of these skills. Other characters with these treatments are Oob, Jiren Full Power, and DBS Ultimate Gohan. Timebreaker Aura refers to the fact if you go to the training mode and pick your CAC with a Crystal Raid skill equipped, you actually get the Timebreaker Aura. This is unobtainable anywhere else outside of Crystal Raids. Offline Crystal Raid. Offline Crystal Raids refers to, of course, the Crystal Raids, where you can normally only play them online. However, the tutorial for the Crystal Raids can be played offline, thus making this the only variation of the Crystal Raid you can play offline. When are they going to add this feature offline? Well, only time will tell. Hopefully they add it in one day. Clone, Peeler Storm, and Giant Ki Blast. This isn't referring to the Giant Ki Blast and Peeler Storm from the Crystal Raid, but more specifically the Grade 8 variants. Peeler Storm and Giant Ki Blast actually have two variations. They have the one for the Expert Mission bosses that are now Grade Apes, and then of course the one for the Grade Apes. Hellfighter 17. Hellfighter 17 is referring to a secret variation for Android 17, who is deemed Hellfighter 17. He has no discernible differences other than the fact that his name is Hellfighter 17. Hero Coliseum skills refers to the fact that a lot of skills are Hero Coliseum exclusive. This is including but not limited to the Super Gallic Gun and Super Ghost Kamikaze attack. For example, normally the Super Gallic Gun you need to charge up yourself by holding down the button you binded the attack to. However, if you use the Hero Coliseum variant, the attack will charge up automatically, and then the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack has its own special animation, because normally the ghosts fly out as you move around. That does not happen in this skill. Broken Boss Movesets. Broken Boss Movesets refers to before the boss characters like Mira and Demigra were added to Crystal Raids. They had completely broken movesets that had broken combo strings and just incomplete movesets in general. Combos would drop randomly, they didn't link into each other, and this was of course because they weren't playable. However, when they were added to Crystal Raids and the training mode in addition, they were given proper movesets that were able to be comboed, they were given stamina breaks which they originally didn't have, and overall were made fully fledged characters that I kinda wish had variations you could use in PvP that weren't very broken. Prince of Destruction Vegeta refers to Majin Vegeta, who originally had the name Majin Vegeta. However, in a DLC at a later date, his name was secretly changed to Prince of Destruction Vegeta, most likely a dubbing thing. Ultimate Transformations. Ultimate Transformations is referring to the Xenoverse 1 transformations which were actually ported to Xenoverse 2. You know, where Super Saiyan was in your Ultimate slot? Well, these are in Xenoverse 2 and have the same exact descriptions as Xenoverse 1, however they don't function the same, and these are only used on boss enemies inside of Parallel Quest to give them the transformation icon under their name. If the enemy uses it in their Awakening skill, they don't get the icon. And this is of course to let you know what transformation they have, since you can see it in their skill set, but you cannot see their Awakening skill. UI Dodge and Parallel Quest. UI Dodge and Parallel Quest is referring to inside of Parallel Quest, where you fight MUI Goku, you will notice he dodges way more than the playable counterpart even after his buff. This is because inside of Parallel Quest, MUI Goku is given the Expert Mission Super Soul that allows the boss to dodge any attack you throw at them, minus super attacks. This is the reason UI Goku is always dodging you in the Parallel Quest, however he does not dodge when you play as him because his dodge is a lot more finicky and he can only be done when standing still. 30,000 health is referring to before a specific patch came out. The cap of any health on any character was 30,000. It could never be increased past that point. The only characters that could go above 30,000 were Majin characters with a very specific build. However, in a random update, they eventually buffed this to where offline variants of characters are actually different than online variants, and battle variants are different than Parallel Quest variants, so some characters were actually able to surpass the 30,000 health limit and get up to 35,000. It is still impossible to get above 40,000, however, to get to the blue health bar. Spirit Bomb Time Patrol specific is referring to a skill various Gokus have inside of many of the Parallel Quests inside of Xenoverse 2 where he needs to charge Spirit Bomb to defeat the enemy. This skill is actually called what it says on the tin, Spirit Bomb Time Patrol specific, and all it does is put the character in the Spirit Bomb super attack charging up animation forever, until they're either KO'd or until a script calls for them to throw the Spirit Bomb. Crystal Raid unique skills. We all know in Crystal Raid you're allowed to actually use things like Peeler Storm, Giant Ki Blast, and Marbling Drop. However, these are not the Expert expert mission counterparts. These are completely custom-made skills from the ground up that are balanced around having a 5v1 fight. These have charge timers placed on them, they have different behavioral properties, they even sound a little bit different and are missing actually some effects. And things like Peelostorm are actually made an evasive rather than a super attack. The actual boss variations of these skills are still unusable to this day, and for good reason. Japanese English Gohan. Japanese English Gohan is referring to Gohan, adult form specifically, when he fought Gogeta Blue. For some reason, when Gohan was fighting Gogeta Blue in Versus mode, he would actually have his Japanese audio despite the English voices being set on and not the Japanese ones. This was fixed at a later date, but it's definitely something funny to look back on. Super Saiyan 2 Namek Goku. This is referring to, in one of the parallel quests, you actually fight Goku in his Namek outfit, but he's a Super Saiyan 2. This is the only parallel quest where this happens. Super Saiyan 2 Namek Goku will not appear anywhere else in the game. This is the only quest he appears in. He doesn't behave any differently than normal Goku, it's just shirtless Goku with the Super Saiyan 2 skill equipped. I still question why we can't use costumes like these for the custom variant. Is there any good reason for that? Discount Angry Kamehameha is referring to Namek Goku once again. However, his original skill set did not have him including Breaker Energy Wave. Breaker Energy Wave was added in DLC 1 for the game, and originally, to substitute this skill, he had Full Power Energy Wave to simulate the Angry Kamehameha. At a later update, not in DLC 1, he was eventually given Breaker Energy Wave. I'm undecided if I would prefer him to have Full Power Energy Wave or Breaker Energy Wave. At least make Breaker Energy Wave able to be used more than once, Dimps. Adult Teen Gohan. Adult Teen Gohan is referring to when Teen Gohan fights Bojack, for some reason he uses his adult voice. This is most likely a recording error by the dub team because in the Japanese version, Teen Gohan and Adult Gohan have the same exact voice actor. So there was probably a recording error when they were making this DLC pack. I have no idea why they didn't go back and fix it though. Villainous Hercule Broken Moveset. This ties into the Broken Boss moveset's entry, however Villainous Hercule is different. Villainous Hercule, unlike the bosses, could not throw Ki Blast or a charge Ki Blast until he was eventually added to Crystal Raids. Rage Trunks Aura. Rage Trunks, for some unexplainable reason, on the PC version in DLC 4 did not have an aura. However, in his console variant, he did. Eventually it was added to the PC variation, but it wasn't until a much later date. And what's even crazier is the fact that he has a completely new aura that no other character has. Once again, what is stopping Dimps from making this guy playable? There is no good reason for it, just give him a new moveset. I'm surprised they did not make him another DLC pack. Hidden Variants. Hidden Variants isn't like unplayable characters or hidden costumes of the villainous variations. Hidden variants are actual costumes of various characters in the game. For example, base form Vegeta has a costume in which his armor is completely ripped and he's part shirtless. Goku has a variation from his second form of Blue Goku where he has destroyed outfit in his base form. Nail has a variation with his coat on. Frieza has a broken variation with his pod. There's a frog variation of Ginyu, and many other anomalies like that. STN. STN is referring to the quest Spirit Bomb Away, where Android 21 has a unique skill called STN. The only thing this skill does is actually put an Android 21 in a kneeling position to simulate her fighting off the evil magic being bestowed upon her. Super Saiyan 2 Vegito. Super Saiyan 2 Vegito is referring to Vegito having the Super Saiyan 2 ultimate skill, not awakening skill, and having a quote where he says, "This is Super Vegito 2 now." This, of course, only works on the ultimate skill. If you use the awakening skill, he doesn't have any dialogue for it. This was in Xenoverse 1 as well, and it's just insane to me how this is still unused. Rose has very similar quotes with the Kaioken, and certain other attacks that the main cast uses. Eternal Rival. Eternal Rival is referring to the parallel quest Eternal Rival, in which before DLC 6 came out, there were no cutscenes showing Goku and Vegeta transforming into their next forms. The quest is still in the state inside of Xenoverse 1, but in Xenoverse 2, they added the cutscenes to give the quest a little more oomph and to up the antics a little bit. It should also be noted this is a quest where Goku and Vegeta are just flexing unusable transformations and costumes on the player. Raid Expert Missions. Raid Expert Missions is referring to in the game data. There are many raids, like Black-Hearted, the Super 17 raid. All these raids are listed as unused expert missions inside the expert mission title file. These expert missions do not have any data and were most likely just placeholders while raids were in development. It would be very cool if we could play these raids offline as expert missions though. Why can we not do this? Timebreaker Golden Frieza skill change. This is referring to, of course, Timebreaker Golden Frieza, where he actually had his charge up replaced, where he at one point actually had maximum charge instead of Darkness Mixer. This of course was fixed in a later update, but at one point he actually had maximum charge instead of Darkness Mixer, which of course is a lot worse because we all know how good Darkness Mixer is. Charging stamina, ki, can't get much better than that. Just wait until we get a charging skill that charges your health as well. Japanese English Gogeta. Ironically, this same exact problem that happened with Gohan happened with Gogeta. This one's a bit more rare because the only way you can get this to trigger is if Gogeta KOs you inside of a parallel quest. If Blue Gogeta killed you inside a parallel quest, even with English voices set on, he would speak in Japanese for some unexplainable reason. It's a bit funny to witness, but this one actually ended up being fixed too. Tutorial Kamehameha. Tutorial Kamehameha is referring to the Super Kamehameha Ultimate skill's description specifically, where it says you'll need ki in order to use ultimate moves. This is weird, because Super Kamehameha you cannot get until you're at least level 70 and train with Goku. It's likely at one point in development, the Super Kamehameha skill was meant to be obtained much earlier in game, and they forgot to remove the text in the final build, and after 7 years worth of updates. Pre-DLC 9 Kamehameha camera glitch. This entry is referring to MUI Goku once again, in which his Kamehameha skill on his first variation, if you charge this skill all the way up, the camera would not follow MUI Goku. Normally if you charge up the Kamehameha super skill, the camera will place itself behind your character to give the attack a cinematic flair. This did not happen with MUI Goku's Kamehameha. This is also because MUI Goku's Kamehameha is a completely unique version of the Kamehameha, similar to the fact that unique universal moves exist, where the Kamehameha skill is different on some characters. Cell First Form has a similar problem to this Goku, in which his Kamehameha is also unique. But MUI Goku's Kamehameha did not have proper camera placement when fully charged up at one point. It was later fixed after DLC 9 came out. And that brings us to the end of the Xenoverse 2 Iceberg. I hope you all enjoyed and that you all learned something new throughout the duration of this video. I really appreciate you sticking around all the way to the end, and I had a lot of fun making this Iceberg, and I'm very glad I was able to put it out, and I hope you guys all liked it, of course. If you have any suggestions or possible entries you would like to add to this Iceberg, or any theories on existing entries of this Iceberg, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. But I'm all out of time for today, and I will see you all in the next video. Once again, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.